Last time on the Incurrigible Party. Opal decides not to feign an illness to see the doctor, as Rumpke avoids his own visit to the infirmary with a victory over the best fighter Cell Block D has to offer. Though potential ramifications of his dalliance with superior stupor may lead him there anyways. All while Helkruk and Kylea Seychadal procured 2 specimens of the Mineralis flower from the prison's underground greenhouse. The dim light of a guard's lantern kind of casts a large, thick shadow into your cell, Opal. Of course, it's Rumpke's shadow as he appears at the bars. He looks pretty kind of like energetic, like amped up a little bit, like he's kind of bouncing from foot to foot almost. You do know that he was taken away to fight, right? As was kind of preluded this entire day basically running up since your first encounter with Huel. But the accompanying guards that you witness, Opal, that had pulled him out are with him again, and they just unlock the cell, open it up, and basically, Rumpke, secure Rumpke back in for the night. I don't know if, Opal, you stir at all while this is happening?
Oh yeah, if I can hear, the gates or wake up to the light, I would wake up. Just kind of wait till the door's shut and the guard walks away. Okay,
yes, and the lantern light does recede, and Rumpke, you are back in the cell with what appears to be a sleeping Opal, unless she, makes it known that she's awake.
Rumpke? Delta?
Yo, hey, what's up? Shh.
Hey, it's the middle of the night.
Yeah, I start doing jumping jacks. Yeah, man, I this is great. I feel all limbered up and stuff.
Did you win?
Opal, as the guards kind of left, the lantern like sweeping back around as they turn, as it kind of falls across Rumpke, then across you, and then back down the other direction of the cell. Like you can see you see the coloring of some of Rumpke's skin in the light, because obviously in dark vision it's simply all grayscale, so there's no colors, right? Even though you can kind of see better than like a human would. But you catch the like distinct green coloring of like Rumpke's veins, like running down his biceps, and kind of like spider webbing across his forearms, like stretching up his neck out from the collar of his shirt.
Whoa, let me wake up here. Rumpke, what? You're glowing.
Yeah, they got me on the stoop. They got me on the stoop. I didn't know I was taking it, but I drank it down. I thought it was some healing potion or something. But man, I feel good.
Wait.
I whooped his ass.
Doesn't stupor make you stoop? Not hype?
Oh man, I tell you what, it's like the best. I can't even think about. God, come on, let's spar.
I'll
take it easy on you.
This is gonna be a problem.
Why's that?
I really hope it's not addictive, because this is gonna take me some time, and I don't even have my kits.
No,
vials.
I'm not gonna do it again. I just didn't know. I didn't know I was taking it, and I didn't know I was gonna do this. But I mean, I'll be all right. It's gonna go away.
If we don't get out of here and they drag you to fight again, you're gonna. Oh my goodness! I don't even. Okay.
Okay. We gotta get out of here tonight. Tomorrow, after tomorrow, we ought to be able to get everything going and to get out of here. I'll be fine.
Okay.
I go sit on the bed. I'm sort of tapping my feet and my fingers on the side of the bed, trying to get rid of energy.
You're gonna wake everyone up.
Yeah. I'll be quiet. Yeah. And so, what's been going on?
Well, Kylea's not back. She, they said she was like helping the doctor, but also, I heard some things. I talked to Mel. He's the guy that like crushed his windpipe because he wasn't as strong as me bench pressing.
You talked to a guy who crushed his windpipe?
Yeah, he whispered, and you could tell his throat hurt really bad. Anyway, he was telling me how to go see the warden, if I wanted to go see Warden Truescar.
Why you want to go? What? Why you want to see the warden?
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, okay.
I don't really know, honestly. It's just no one sees him, right? So it was kind of just a check out of curiosity. But then, I heard about Dr. Cockle. I guess he, tortures people.
Yeah, they say he's not good. That's what I heard. Yeah.
And, asks people if he's, like if they're followers of the Maiden of Pain, or like if they want the heavens or something. It's like really confusing.
What's that? What's the Maiden of Pain?
I don't know. Is it some sort of like god? I'm not very religious.
Me either.
You can both roll me a religion check if you'd like.
As we sit here at 3 a.m. pondering religious thoughts.
Right, exactly. And so Rumpke, like you, it's been some time after your fight now. Like you can kind of feel the effects of the superior stupor starting to ebb away now. Like you're kind of having this come down off of this like hyperactivity.
Okay. I got a 6 on religion.
12 for Opal.
Neither of you know or really recognize the name, like the Maiden of Pain. Opal, though, kind of in this moment, maybe having a little more of her wits about her compared to Rumpke's current state. Opal, you do know for sure that the Maiden of Pain is not like, if it is some type of deity, which you clearly suspect, right? It's not a mainstay like of the deities worshipped within Stormcape. You do know the biggest 3 deities that are worshipped in Stormcape are Lathander, Millar, and Tamora. Of course, these are like inherited in quotation, but inherited worshiping practices from the founding families back when the city was being established. Now, and of course, you also know like it's not like only strictly these 3 deities are worshipped within the city. There's clearly room for all deities to be worshipped in many of the smaller temples that are kind of,
non-denominational.
Yeah, non-denominational temples. Thank you. But those 3 gods are those 3 gods like have the largest temples in Stormcape. So TLDR, you don't know anything about Maiden of Pain.
Nothing changes.
I do remember somebody called the Maiden of Pain that was in the ring one time. She kicked ass.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's linked, but...
Yeah, she weren't no god, that's for sure.
How did you accidentally take the stoop? It kind of seems like it's in your veins. Did they, give you a needle?
I looked at my arms, and it seems like it's starting to dissipate a little bit. My hands are feeling like they're, arthritic and starting to hurt a little bit. I'm looking down, I go, yeah. Well, they threw the vial to me, and I thought it was healing potion, but I drank it.
Oh, you drank it?
Yeah. It's like this greeny looking stuff. You best stay away from it.
Yeah, I just need to make, a concoction that makes you throw it up then, if we need that.
Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be good to, because, let me tell you, it works you up.
Yeah, it's 2 steps away from the cafeteria food. It's not gonna be that hard.
That'd be good. Oh man, I'm not feeling so hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you hurt?
No, it's just I'm feeling a little dizzy and pukey right now.
Okay, go lay down.
I'm gonna lay down here. What else did you find out there from Mel?
Well, he knows that we're trying to escape prison.
But that's probably something we shouldn't tell anybody.
I know.
Is he trustworthy, this Mel guy?
I think so. I thought maybe the more help the better. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Nah, it's okay. As long as we get out of here tomorrow, I think we'll be all right. But who knows what's going on?
It better not be more than another day.
We come up with some plan to get old Lila and Axel out, and along with the others.
Hopefully Lila gets Axel out, and then we just get them. Honestly, I think I underestimated how hard this would be. Unless they exactly know where Happy is and save him, I don't know what to do about that. But
I think maybe Happy's our, tertiary plan.
Yeah. Also, I think we just need to go to sleep, and I hope to be sleeping if you throw up. That's part of it. I don't want to be awake.
Yeah, I hope to be sleeping when I throw up too.
Well, sleep on your side, okay?
Alright. I sort of roll over, and my hands are still, fidgety a little bit, and I sort of grab onto the wall. Things are spinning now. I'll be alright.
close your eyes. Maybe it'll help.
Oh, no, that makes it worse.
Okay, leave your eyes open.
All right, I'll leave one eye open.
So, Rumpke, as you were settling into your bunk after this talk with Opal, yes, those last effects of the drug wearing off, and like you kind of said, those injuries that you weren't even feeling before, that felt good to you before, now starting to, the pain is starting to creep into where you suffered blows, and your knuckles, your cells where you gave some back of your own, where you gave a lot back on your own. And yes, looking down, even in grayscale, you can see like the veins, the green veins, like they're subsiding, as there were like almost like rays. You could see them raised up in your skin. Now they've kind of clearly going back to normal. Your 5 levels of exhaustion now set in after you've completely come down off of this dose of superior stupor. And can you please make me a DC 15 Constitution saving throw to see if you get addicted. Now, keep in mind, you are suffering from your levels of exhaustion. So that is, as per our rules, a total -5 to all D20 rolls.
So I got a 6.
So on a failed save, the target does become addicted, and unless you get another dose, you will develop withdrawal symptoms in about 24 hours. When that, and if that occurs, we'll certainly get to it. But immediately, it's like, it starts kind of almost like a sweet tooth. Like, for me at least, when I have a nice savory
Oreo
meal, I
cheesecake.
need something sweet.
Come on.
Yes, I need, like, I'm jonesing for some sugar. That's kind of like how that starts. Like, there's like an itch almost in the back of your neck. Like, you just can't quite scratch as you barely get to drift off to sleep. Again, that exhaustion kind of setting in.
Oh, man.
Great. Something to look forward to.
There you go. And it doesn't last very long, though, before you're both kind of jolted awake again, interrupted. The darkened lanterns of the prison that were like completely snuffed out, they begin to flicker on and begin to strobe a yellow light, in addition to an alarm sounding, this intermediate buzzing that's in time with these strobing lights. And again, shortly after that, despite your cell's distance from like the main corridor, that would take you to the common area or take you to some of the other cell blocks. In amidst the kind of whoop of the alarm and these flashing lights, you hear echoing of many running boots, like stomping footfalls in the corridors.
What's going on?
Rumkey, Delta, I don't know. What the heck?
I'll sort of roll out of my cot and sort of crawl over to the bars and lift myself up and sort of try to stick my head out as much as possible to see if I can see what's going on.
Hey, you okay?
No!
Just dragged your lower extremities across the floor without even... Are your legs okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
I sort of yell across the cell to the next cell over there. Hey! Wake up! What's going on? Talk to Mel or whoever. Who's in the next cell over?
You can see across the cell, and it's just like figures in a cot. They seem to also be like up. And Opal, you do hear actually from the cell next to you, Rumpke, you hear as well, of course, the croak of Mel. Hey, Jewel.
Yeah?
Are you all right?
I'm okay. We're just wondering if this is like a normal occurrence over here in Cell Block B.
It happened one time before, shortly after I got here. I don't know, something's happening. Looks like we're going into lockdown.
Are you kidding me?
That's what the alarm means. Something's happening.
What happened, to lock it down last time?
Oh, I don't know. Someone was trying to get out. They got out of their cell at night or something. I don't know. Lasted about 2 days last time.
Oh, 2 days. This isn't good.
Delta, we were talking about tomorrow, weren't we?
Yeah. I sort of lay my head down onto the cell floor. Yeah, I think, tomorrow might be a rest day.
Well, we don't know what's going on, Mel, but do you know much about the stupor they give people to fight with? 'Cause my buddy here, he came back all glowing and, He seems really bad right now.
I don't know. I didn't know there was any difference.
Well, is there a difference?
Like I said, I don't know. I've never been in the fights.
Okay, well, have you seen people glow before? Like green?
Definitely not.
Weird. Okay. Yeah, he was like glowing green and was like had a lot of energy and felt good, but now I can tell he's like beat up.
Did you win?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was easy.
I should hear the other guy, right?
I think he went to the doctor, if I remember right.
Maybe that's what's going on? The doctor. That means Lila might be involved.
Well, ain't much we're gonna be able to do about it.
You just go rest. That's okay.
I'm resting,
Do you need a hand?
I guess.
Give me your hand.
Hey, I try to grab on to Jewel and I give it my best shot. I don't know if I'm gonna be any good tomorrow at all. Everything's hurting.
I'll take care of you.
Thanks.
I'm really worried about the other two, but what can we do from here?
Oh, they'll be alright.
We are literally in prison.
Shadal probably get somebody in trouble. Hellcrux locked up. Nothing's gonna happen with him.
Hey, just shh. It's okay. It's okay. You just see those sheep? Just count them.
What?
And you both try to settle back in. Rumkey passing out immediately.
I'll keep an eye out. I don't know that I could fall back to sleep if it means I'm exhausted, whatever.
The intermediate buzzing and strobing light persists as you attempt to settle back in, still being wary and trying to keep a lookout. But again, from where your cell is positioned, you have nothing but a view of like two other cells across from you, basically, right? So very little information as you're going to be able to glean. Even you squeezing your face as far as you can to the bars, you can't see much further down this corridor. Hellcrux, Kaelia, and Happy. The prison lanterns, which had previously kind of been winked out as the greenhouse itself was pitch black, but there's a few in this corridor here that you are in, as it's not part of what was the new construction that the work detail was taken care of. But they begin to flash with like a yellow light in time to a buzzing alarm. And Hellcrux, immediately you know what this is. You've heard this alarm before. This is the alarm that sounds when a large guard response needs to happen within the prison, and it signals that the prison has gone into a lockdown.
Oh, this is bad.
What is it? What's going on?
There's gonna be lots of guards going somewhere. This means that it's this is the lockdown alarm. Oh,
Here?
crap. I don't know. I'm not sure what could have set it off, but all the guards are gonna be woken up and
How long would it take them to reach our location?
well, I guess it depends if they're coming here, or maybe something else is going on somewhere else. We could hope for that, I guess, but we gotta move quick whatever we're doing.
Would it be faster to go to our cell or to go to where the bullets are?
Faster, you mean strictly time-wise is what you mean?
Strictly time-wise.
It is definitely a shorter distance to, well, okay. As the bullet burrows, you are about equidistance from the door from B to A that both of you were escorted through, one for the work detail and when Hellcrux was being thrown in the solitary confinement cell, and the bullet. Obviously, Kylie, you certainly could navigate back to where the bullets are penned. It is in the exact opposite direction that you would be going to get back to your cells. Basically, Kylie, you know that it's more of a circuitous route back to the bullets, because you kind of have to go like all the way south down A and then turn like to west and then back up north. Like it's a very circular route. So the way you can travel, it's definitely would take you longer to get back to where the bullets are held versus back to like trying to sneak in back into block B into your cell.
Back towards where the doctor's office is?
Well, if you go back up around that circular route, yes. In the room where you found the Buttersturge lanterns that allowed you to harvest the mineralis flower, there was another way out of that room, which you didn't go to explore. So that is basically moving back towards B block, that takes you east. So perhaps there's more route down there. Neither of you have been down there. Because, of course, Kylea, your route took you well south of where any of this greenhouse space was, right? So you don't know what lies back that way if you wanted to try to move east rather than west towards the bullets.
We have 4 options. Stay here, potentially get caught, if this is where they are indeed coming. They may have a sensor on the doorway, and if any plants exit, it is triggered. Option 2, try and make it back to our cell. We may cross paths with the guards. Option 3, go back into the greenhouse, see if there is another exit, potentially getting trapped. Or option 4, we go visit the bullets and maybe set them free.
Oh man, I'm so indecisive.
Option 1 it is then.
I'm really tempted by 4, but like the problem is that Rumkey and Opal are like who knows where right now.
Well, it's nighttime. We could assume they're in their cell.
You would hope, but yeah, if they're not, like if Rumkey's out fighting or whatever, who knows? Anyway, even so, we would need to like somehow meet it back up with them. Oh man, I do really want to let the bullets loose though.
So, as in like the purpose of option 4 would be as more of a distraction. So like, here's what you know, obviously. Seychadal freed an entire infirmary of like 24 inmates that are either hopped up on or jonesing for some type of stupor. So putting that together, like that's probably what's causing this disturbance and this immediate
They're
trigger.
probably
right?
one of the doctors. Yeah.
Very, very probable, yes.
I'm like, for whatever reason, I'm like really struggling to make a mental layout of where everything is. But if the guards are coming from like the main bulk of the prison and heading toward where those inmates were roughly, like we can assume that inmates have probably moved on from where they were to somewhere else and they're causing chaos. Where's that in relation to us and in relation to our options to get back to our cell?
So based on Kylea being led around, like when she's and the work detail secured the baby bullet in its cell and then came back down, basically following a counterclockwise route of cell block A. Kylea passed there's 2 doors into and out of cell block A, one of which both of you went through, would be labeled to take you back to B. And another one that Kylea Seychadal saw, the very southern end of cell block A, it was unmarked, as in did not signify or denote any specific cell block that its threshold would cross over into. Those are the only 2 ways into and out of this block.
Okay.
So a guard presence would come from one or both of those doors, as in like some type of response. And so that unmarked door is like from your position a few thousand feet south of winding tunnels that you would have to navigate if you wanted to get there.
Well, Kylea Seychadal, like our options are, if we're going back to our cells, there's a bit of a bottleneck, right? Like if the guards are coming this way, there's a good chance we're going to cross them going through that door.
Yes. That would not be optimal.
Now, what do you think, like, those people who were all drugged out and wanting more drugs, who you let loose. What if they're the ones who are causing all the ruckus? Where do you think they would have gone to have run into any guards and sounded the alarm?
Well, either they went out the door to cell block B, or they're headed our way.
Yeah, you'd think we would have... I don't know. This is a big place. Maybe we wouldn't have heard them if they went a different way. Let's try and be quiet and stick to the shadows. What shadows there are, and maybe we can make our way back. Let's hope that they already made it further into the prison, and all this ruckus is happening past where our cells are.
Why don't we go first, and you and Happy hang back? We can scout ahead more quietly.
Yeah, I mean, no offense, Happy, but yeah, he's still moving pretty slow. Where should we hide?
Just follow behind me, but give it a little distance. That way, if we have to make a run for it, we can.
Okay, that works. Be careful.
So we will set out for the door to cell block B, which is extremely easy to say.
Okay, so does that mean you are taking the long way or the short way? The latter being back up towards the infirmary. The former being closer to the unmarked door that leads out of cell block A.
Towards the unmarked door away from the infirmary.
All right.
Do you think, like, in order for the people coming from the infirmary to make it to the door that we came through, like, would we have heard them go by us, or not necessarily because it's far enough away?
Yeah, so when you left the infirmary, and you would be facing south, you took a right to get to the western side of this greenhouse portion. Rather, if you had went left, that would have taken you closer to the door between A and B and where Hellcrux cell was. So if they are, as you postulate, that they are on their way towards B, they would have went the opposite direction that you did. So you're kind of on either side of this greenhouse area is kind of in line of where these two groupings might be, as per your thinking.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, so we're not stopping at the bullet pens then.
Unfortunately.
So you are slinking ahead, Kylea, with Hellcruck, one arm of Happy's arms around his shoulders, right, to help him walk, because again, he's still moving very slowly. He seems to be like, the more you move with him and the more he's moving on his own, he's like, feels like he's getting stronger, and like you need to take less and less of his weight, right, as you're progressing down these tunnels. Kylea, why don't you, sneaking up ahead, give me a stealth check, please?
That's a 24.
As you progress through the tunnels, very often, I would say even more often than not, Hellcruck and Happy, you lose sight of Kylea as she, turns around a corner or a bend in the tunnel, only to, finally barely catch a glimpse of her as she takes another turn in the way there's no rhyme or reason seems to how some of these tunnels are laid out. The strobing lights, the alarm has ceased, but the lights are still strobing. You can hear as you're passing, Kylea, nothing that is like your presence isn't drawing attention, but very clearly Hellcruck and Happy, your like steps and shuffling, Happy dragging his feet and you helping him every like third step, like a drag of a foot as he catches himself right. The people in the cell, some of them, the ones that are darkened, denoting that they're full, like you can Hellcruck hear voices calling out. Like again, in reaction to you being out there, like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? Are we getting out of here? That kind of thing. Like people shouting out, just curious and not really knowing what's going on. Obviously, who knows how long they've been trapped in the darkness of the solitary confinement cells. And eventually, fairly quickly, honestly, with Kylea's advanced knowledge, you do get to, or Kylea, you come upon the tunnel that the unmarked door is at the end of. You get to a point, you kind of take a right, and then you find there's a long stretch of tunnel with obviously more ways to go off. You know that the very last right turn before this door would take you to the bullets. But other than that, you can now see in like 800 feet in front of you, in the flashing of the yellow light, this door. Continuing forward, or are you going to wait for Hellcrook to catch up here? You're like kind of around a corner and peering down this empty hallway now towards this door.
How far away are we from Hellcrook's cell? Solitary cell.
You are another 1,000 feet or so of kind of a left and a right and a left kind of thing.
I want to take a moment to listen to see if I could hear any commotion.
From around you then, obviously, because keep in mind, you're 800 feet away from this unmarked door. So if you want to get closer and listen, sure, but if there's something happening on the other side of the door, you will not hear it from where you are.
Just from see if the guards are coming closer, or the super stupid inmates are anywhere nearby. Just pause a moment and listen.
And you don't even need to give me a check for that. The only thing you hear are the odd, confined confined inmate yelling out or asking a question of what's going on, that kind of thing. Which, when they receive no response after you've kind of passed, they quickly die down as well.
We will wait a moment and let Hellcrook and Happy catch up.
Well, what's going on, Cardia?
There's a door up ahead. It's not marked.
Did you hear anything?
Nothing new.
Okay. You think this leads back to the next block?
We don't know. You don't?
Does Hellcrook remember ever being exposed to this door?
As it is unmarked, you don't. You definitely know that there are a number of unmarked doors. Give me roll me a history check with advantage.
15.
You recall here, as Kylie has asked you if you know anything about it, you recall and think back to the very first day that you were taken to prison, basically when you were submitted for your sentence. You go through this whole entry process where they strip you of any belongings you have on you. The very stereotypical, like, hose you down, throw a bucket of water on you, hose you down, powder you off, hand you your prison clothes, and escort you through to your cell block. So Hellcrook, that running basically, again, kind of west to east along the very southmost end of the prison is a very long tunnel that extends like the length of the prison. And those unmarked doors are connections from this kind of, it's like this guard access way, think of, right? There's additional rooms for the guards to stay in. There's just anything like a guard on duty might need, like a break room for the guard shifts, etc. Right? Equipment lockers for the guards, and that would include the like emergency response stuff that they would don to address something that's happening, like what's going on in the prison right now. That big long access way is like a route essentially from the front door of the prison to any of the cell blocks, and that is probably what lies behind any unmarked door that you come across.
Carlia, I think it's been a while since I've been here, obviously, but there is like a really long sort of like hallway or like a access tunnel or sort of thing that the guards can use to get from one end to the other real quick. I think that might be what's behind this door.
Well, then we probably don't want to open it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe we went the wrong way, unfortunately.
To get to the door to B, we would have to go past this door, we think? Or is there another way?
Yes, you would go basically, instead of taking that right to the Blet, you would take a left, which would kind of again wind you that 1,000 or so feet back to where like Hellcrook's cell is, and then the further north to the corridor that connects A to B. Or you would have to backtrack towards and up and around by the infirmary to get to that same corridor. So I suppose it is a matter of what you two believe is more dangerous.
As in guards finding us out of the cell, or the bullets?
Or the stupor inmates.
Carly, I wonder, wherever, I really do think that probably this alarm was set off from those drugged up folks that caused a big kerfuffle, but the guards probably aren't in this hallway anymore because they had to respond to wherever those guys are. So maybe this hallway is empty. Or, at least, maybe we could go down it for a very short section, to make it to the next door and then get out in cell block B. I don't know. You could maybe just take a quick peek. Or even to go up to the door and listen, see if you hear anything.
Okay. You wait here. We'll be right back.
Okay.
And we will quickly make our way to the door.
Hellcrook and Happy remaining those few hundred feet away.
Yeah, we're gonna stay further back in case she runs into any trouble and needs to escape quickly. We'll have a head start.
Give me a stealth check, please.
23.
Very good job, because that is going to affect a percentile roll that I'm going to have you do as you approach this door. So essentially your goal is to get close to it and hopefully hear something that may or may not be going on the other side, yes?
Yes.
You're able to easily slink up to it, and you could very quickly position yourself kind of in that right-hand tunnel back that would lead you to the bullet if you kept going forward, which would situate you kind of to the side of this door, right? So if something were to come through and move forward, they would actually be moving past you towards Hellcrook and Happy, coincidentally, but you can still kind of be at the side to this opening door if you would like to.
Okay.
Now, can you roll me a percentile, please? You probably want above 50%. And with your stealth, I will bump that up to above 70%. Or sorry, above 30%. You have better odds now.
19?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, nothing is going to be taken away from your excellent stealth roll, but as you situate yourself, as we discussed, kind of to the left of this door, if someone was walking through it, that happens. You just get your kind of back pressed against the wall that this door is embedded into, and it swings open. And even before it does, you can hear approaching boots, right? Very clearly not in any response to your presence, however, due to your stealth roll. But a cadre of guards storm through it. They don't actually continue straight towards the direction that would take them past Hellcrook and Happy. Instead, they take this right turn, which again, as we discussed, would lead you back towards where Hellcrook's solitary cell was. You see that, or with your stealth, you remain unnoticed, but they are dressed in they've changed up their standard leather armor, the guard coloring for strictly heavy plate armor. They've geared up. It looks like each of them has a shield on one arm and an actual bladed weapon this time, not a blunt club as the guards usually walk around with. And this group, moving as this troop down this 10-foot wide corridor, take that right back and up, which you again would presume would lead them towards that connection between A and B.
Wait a second till they all pass by, and then look in the door to see if there's any stragglers.
Well, the door is shut behind them as they continue.
Can I open the door?
You have a guard's master key. You can absolutely attempt it.
I will listen at the door first.
All right, give me perception.
8, because I rolled a 1.
No.
You hear nothing but the receding echoes of the guards' foot stomps.
I will cautiously open the door and peep my head in.
And keep in mind, like, these doors that separate the blocks between each block, and obviously between the blocks and this guard hallway space, they're like these huge, like the size of a double door, but a single piece of metal, right, on kind of rollers that doesn't swing open, but really is pulled and rolled aside kind of thing. So you don't have to open this fully, as these guards had, right, when they threw it open from their passing. But you can crack it open, and in front of you, it looks like it comes out at the crook of this right angle turn. So like directly ahead of you, looking forward, 300 or 400 feet down, you can see like a series of closed gates, amidst like bars and like what would make up walls or barred walls. And you can kind of make out what looks like some type of like front desk. It too is in behind like a fenced or gated or barred area. There doesn't look like there is any guard that's attending this space. To your left is where this hallway stretches for like hundreds of feet down. Like you can, and it looks incredibly straight compared to how the layouts of the blocks of this prison you've seen. This is clearly purposely, intentionally tunneled as straight as an arrow, and you can just see it's very well lit in here. Despite the strobing effect is going on. From where you can see, there's a number of other like man doors that clearly additional rooms that lead off of this hallway. From your position, you don't see any additional like block doors, like large double sliding doors, but the hallway itself seems to be empty. Although now that you've opened the door and kind of peeked your head in, you can still hear, voices and movement from some of these rooms, like gear shifting and footsteps in amidst whatever is going on.
So we can assume more guards are gearing up and will be coming through this door.
That is what it sounds like.
I will shut the door and lock it and go back to Hellcruck. There are more guards coming. We must go find another way.
Oh goodness, that was terrifying. You did a really good job of not getting spotted yet. Let's get out of here.
Thank you.
And Kylie will help burden Happy, take on the burden of Happy a little bit, and head back the way we came, I guess.
So is the plan now to go up, back, and like around the infirmary, or do you want to go back through the greenhouse and see what lies beyond that kind of laboratory / storage area?
I mean, we kind of have to go where they're going.
You either have to follow them or take your chances in this guard hallway. Like these are the only two ways out of this block. These are your terrible options, yes.
We could wait a moment, see if any more guards come through, and then head into this hallway.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Okay, well, I guess we can assume that if more guards come, they'll go the same way, right? So we should be safe where I was hiding. Maybe keep a little bit further back from the corner.
Yeah, let's just wait a moment.
Okay.
You're going to retreat, find somewhere to hide. Why don't each of you make me a hide roll? Happy will also make his own.
A stealth?
It would be a stealth, that's correct.
27.
Holy. I got a 9.
Can Kylie help stealth them?
Not unless he can cast Pass Without a Trace. So Happy, under his current condition, under the effects of the stupor, unfortunately is suffering 5 levels of exhaustion, meaning he's taking a -5 penalty to all d20 rolls he makes, which means that he got a 6.
Oh boy.
Ah, great.
So what needs to happen is you need to hide on top of us, Kylia.
How far away are you retreating here? Like Hellcrook had said, the 800 feet back to that initial right turn down this corridor.
Yes. To where they wouldn't see us when they came out the door.
Yeah, and I think Hellcrook and Happy would, like, instinctively, or like Hellcrook would know that Happy's going to be the least reliable out of all of us, so he would be a bit farther back from Kylea, who's kind of unencumbered and can be a bit more sneaky. So if someone's going to be peeking around the corner, it'll be Kylea, not Hellcrook.
And I mean, keep in mind, like along these corridors, there's you're in amidst the solitary confinement cells. So yes, many of them are darkened and full, but a lot of them are empty. So again, you're not strictly stuck in these stretches of corridor, right? There are potentially these cells that you could dip into, even if they were locked. You certainly have a key to get into them. Both of you each have a key. And like again, from what Kylea witnessed and what Hellcrook knows, to engage the darkness is essentially locking the cell. So the ones that are don't have that kind of bubble that's extending into these hallways, you know that they're empty and would be unlocked. How much time? You essentially want to wait here until you see somebody?
Give it 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say 5-10 minutes. That seems reasonable.
That is very reasonable because less than 5. Kylea, you do witness this door opens and a smaller group of guards, still armed, armored and armed the same way, does exit again and following the same direction that the first group went.
Let's move you and Happy up to one of the empty cells closer to this door, and we'll check it out again.
Okay, that's not a bad idea, actually, yeah. Come on, Happy.
We promise not to lock you in.
Well, I do have my own key, but I guess I don't know if it would work from the inside, so that would be good, say Shardell.
Okay, so Hellcrook Happy hiding in a confinement cell. Kylea, give me another perception check here at the door.
That's 15.
It does sound silent. Now, are you cracking the door again as well to listen?
Yes.
You don't hear any of the same like gearing up sounds or even voices now from within this tunnel.
We will look back as Hellcrook looking at us.
I mean, I guess I would be trying to peek out through any little slat opening if I could.
Yeah.
So we'll wave down the hallway and like motion for Hellcrook to join us and wait a second, see if he notices or not.
I'm assuming I notice, Leland. Okay. I don't need to make a contested roll for that. So I will, I'll open the door and sling Happy's arm around my shoulder, help him up, and start hobbling down towards Kylea.
Into this guard hallway now, and yes, Hellcrook, it is exactly as you remember. Those gates and kind of attendant area at the very front, that is the entrance to the prison, Hellcrook. You absolutely know that, right? You pass through this series of gates, open one into the next area, locked behind, open ahead, that kind of thing, right? Number of rooms on the left and right of that straight ahead hallway. Hellcrook, again, like one of them is where they will keep prisoners' belongings while they're, sentenced and admitted. Another where they would like louse you off and that kind of stuff, right? All of that stuff that you remembered from your time quite a number of years ago. It's all the same as you remember. So what now? You want to traverse down this long hallway again. You can see like hundreds of feet down. It's all incredibly well lit compared to the rest of the prison, which is like that. The lanterns are dimmed down to shed like 10 feet of dim light. 10 feet of light, another 20 of darkness in between these lanterns kind of thing in the main prison, right? Obviously purposely meant to be kept gloomed down and oppressive with this use of darkness in the area where the inmates are. So very different out here. So very long hallway, very long sight lines for both you and anybody else that may be stepping into it.
I think we would like to go just as far as we would have to go to get access to the next door that would lead us back to the next cell block, basically. Like that.
However, if we bypass the first door, it does mean a longer run out in the open. But the next door would be less likely to have guards.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I'm with you. Let's get moving as quick as we can. Come on, Happy.
Yes, we must hurry. So we will make a beeline as fast as we can hobble for the second door.
No pretense of stealth?
No, as long as we don't hear anything, we don't hear any voices or anything, we're gonna just book it.
Okay. Well, it doesn't quite work that way, unfortunately. So either you are attempting to move in a fashion where you would hear something before they hurt you, or it's going to be down to throwing it up in the air. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you can certainly move and still be attentive, but if you're not attempting to be careful or quiet in any way, it's just going to come down to straight up, like, passive perception, basically.
Fine, we'll be quiet.
So now again, very much like in solitary confinement in Block A, down these tunnels, certainly far more spaced between them, but there are like rooms that offshoot everywhere down these tunnels, right? So very potentially, again, if you want to risk entering even more rooms, you could be like, okay, moving from room to room rather than completely staying in this tunnel. I'll say that's just going to take more time. I wouldn't say it would be necessarily more difficult. I'll say that method would actually be safer, but take more time if you're concerned at all about how long you're in here.
I think, this is what Emily's thinking, we don't duck from room to room, but we go cautiously, and if we hear a voice, then we risk ducking into a room. Agree, Bill?
Yep.
I will take each of your passive perceptions. I'll just note those down then.
17.
Very good.
We are trying to be stealthy, quietly doing this. We're just not going to go room from room. But we're not running.
Passive perception for Hellcrook is 11.
You quickly move about as quietly as possible with, like, and again, Happy is, he's shuffling less. He seems... he's fully holding his head up, like his neck is not, his head isn't lolled on his shoulders anymore. He's no longer drooling. He seems to be moving completely of his own volition now. You no longer have to support him. Although you would still need to do so to allow him to move at your speed, because again, he's moving quite slowly. But you come upon unhindered a second metal door, and this one does say B on it, as the one you had previously came through and entered had an A on this side, right? As they always demark what space you're moving into rather than what space you're in.
Keep going.
Much further down, skipping this door, nearly 3 times the distance between these doors. You make it halfway before you hear murmuring from one of these rooms. About 50, Kylea with your passive catch it, about you're 50 feet from this door. And there's clearly like muffled voices. You can't make out what they're saying, but somebody is in this room.
Kylea will stop walking and put her hand up so that Hellcrook and Happy stop.
I kind of like quickly shuffle to a stop and put my other arm in front of Happy to brace him in case he stumbles.
And Kylea will motion to her ears. She hears something up ahead and points to herself to go check it out, and you stay.
Hellcrook nods.
So Kylea will move ahead to where she hears the noise. Is it an open door?
It is closed, hence the muffledness of it. And these doors, like they don't have any windows in them or anything. They're like they are metal, but they actually do kind of swing on hinges like a standard door. But there's no like viewing window inside of them or even a slide. They're just simply, a door to cordon off an area from another.
I want to get up close to it and try and hear if I can hear anything better from right next to it.
Okay, give me a stealth to get up there.
16.
As you are, getting up there, maybe one of your feet kind of scrape a tad more audibly than normal for Kylea. And you like kind of freeze up a second. And you get to the door though, and it just sounds like somebody's in there humming to themselves.
I will not touch the door, but prepare myself to... What kind of handle is it? Is it a knob or a turn down handle?
It is a turn down handle, yes.
So I'll prepare myself to hold on to the handle in case somebody comes closer to the door. And I will motion for Hellcruck and Happy to hurry past.
Hellcruck and Happy, you only got one way to go, really, so you both can make me a stealth check.
Yeah, I see her motion and try and oblige as quietly as I can. Adjusted 20.
That is better than Happy's 10. He rolled a 15, though, so it is a 10. We'll kind of split the difference here, and Kylea, as Hellcruck and Happy are moving past you, you're still listening intently for the humming. And there's a very brief moment where it stops, but then it starts up again of a different tune. Like this person has switched songs that they're humming to themselves, and you can continue past this room. And again, make it to now a third marked door. This one has the letter C on it.
It's one of those big slidey doors.
It is, yes, the big double doors kind of set in the stone.
I will listen first, and then if I don't hear anything, open the door a crack and peep through.
Perception, please.
8.
Okay, you hear nothing on the other side of this door.
We'll open it enough for us to be able to fit through.
All three of you, I'm assuming.
Single file.
First me. Yeah, single file, but first me, and then once I go through, if I don't see anything, then Hellcruck and Happy can come through.
Yes, immediately on the side, you don't see anything in here. There's certainly the lights continue to strobe. You're now clearly into cell block C, kind of where you had originated. Although where your cell was is definitely not where you've entered here, right? But yes, you can usher Hellcruck and Happy back in, and basically from where you've entered here, you have one. You can go way north, or about 200 feet up, there's a right-hand turn that would take you east, which is, of course, away from Block B.
North?
Yeah, I think if we keep going straight up there, eventually we'll be able to make a left toward B, get back to ourselves.
Okay. And I will slink off straight up.
Okay. It does seem not entirely quiet. There's certainly like murmuring from the cells that you're passing. A few people call out to you as you do. You can certainly try to roll stealth, but if someone is awake in a cell in the directly on a hallway that you're passing through, you're gonna get seen, right? But yeah, again, like some inmates are still up after the alarm, the buzzing had sounded, right? Clearly, you can tell now it's like it would be prison wide, as the lights are still flashing in subblock C here as well, right? But you get up essentially to another kind of like four-way. The to the left, another sliding door, and you actually do know this door. Kind of orienting yourself, this is the very first door that Oln had taken the party through from C into B. So you've been here now. You've been to this door, and of course it has B plastered on it. And other than like the murmuring like inmates and stuff, like as far as guard presence, I mean, it seems like it's a full hands on deck type situation going on in subblock A at the hands of Kylea Seychadal. So yeah, it seems very empty in here as far as guard presence.
Are any of the inmates talking to us, or are they just murmuring amongst themselves?
Oh, a few of them certainly are like calling out to you, like quizzically. What's happening? What are you out of your cell?
I would growl at them to like be quiet.
The stupor ones in A. They escaped.
Hey, pipe down in there, or I'll send the guard who let us out tonight to see you tomorrow night for a special visit. And you don't want to know what happens on special visits.
Hellcruck, roll me an intimidation check, please.
18.
Okay. You like bear down your tusk as you shush this inmate, and they kind of like recoil in their bed. Like they're just kind of like up on an elbow, right? looking out into this hallway. They kind of slide back down, pull the covers up to their chin, and they just kind of like murmur to one of their cellmates and essentially like ignoring you now as you're moving past them. And you make it to this big sliding door.
I will perceive, hopefully better.
Please.
12. So it's better.
It is better, yes. You hear nothing on the other side a little better than you did before.
Crack the door open wide enough for just me at first.
Same procedure, empty ahead of you. It seems like there is a clear shot from here to at least the turnoff to where your cell is in Block B.
And usher Hellcruck and Happy through and shut the door again.
Again, very quiet as far as guard presence. Like, Hellcruck definitely knows about routine patrols every hour or two during lights out. Definitely something different in lockdown procedure here. And you finally make it back to your cell.
Well, how about that for an episode? You wanting more? I'm sure you do. I'm just the guy to tell you where to find it. Just type in incorrigibleparty.com in your favorite interweb searcher thingy, and bam, there you go. What's that? You want even more stuff to know about the world? Well, you can do that at World Anvil. Just go over to worldanvil.com/w/center-Leland Steel. And there's all kinds of stuff there. All you gotta do is get a free account. I bet you were wondering about the great tunes that were filling your ear holes while you were listening. Well, that was tabletop audio and Sarastro music. Great stuff. You want to make us feel good? Then join our Discord. Talk about all kinds of stuff there. Sometimes even the podcast. You got some spare change there burning a hole in your pocket? Well, then join our Patreon at patreon.com/incorrigibleparty. Head over there and see what kind of perks you get. But most of all, tell your friends. Tell the mailman. Tell that guy you met at the gym last week. Tell him how you went into your app thingy and gave us a 5-star review. Then more people can find us and enjoy the show too. Okay, now that I'm done being a shill, there's only one more thing to say. And that's happy adventuring.
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.